Hi everyone, hope you're good. So I thought I'd do an unboxing and flip through of my latest Oracle deck that I've had on pre-order. It's called Into the Lonely Woods, Blessings and Messages for Times of Solitude and Isolation, and it's by Lucy Cavendish and Dan May. Come to the lovely woods when you feel isolated, distance from loved ones, or wish to embrace quiet, peaceful spaces within a noisy, hurried world. Here you are welcomed with comfort, inspiration, and compassionate guidance. You will come to know an enriching solitude where you can heal, grow, and journey through your inner wildness into a beautiful encounterment with your untamed and trammeled self. This tender, empathic oracle includes 45 exquisite cards and a 104-page guidebook with hauntingly accurate messages and clear layouts to answer the questions of your soul. Spellbinding imagery by Dan May and Wise. Heartfelt text by Lucy Cavendish weave together to bring you into a deep, nourishing relationship with the divine within. With hope, kindness, and honest spirit-led guidance, this unique deck acknowledges the struggles of human spirit and offers a pathway of light through the lonely woods of our lives. Wow. So it looks like it's a shadow deck. So let's take off all this packaging and see what's inside. Okay, so it's got like a two-part box that you can, pull up. I like these sort of boxes. It's a Blue Angel publication. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Wow. Okay, so let's just take this. Okay, so you've got the cards, which I'll put aside. And you've got the guidebook. It was published in 2022 by Lucy Cavendish. Okay, so it's come out a bit early because it looks like it was supposed to have come out next year. So it's got here, with thanks to Dan May. Working with your art has been a healing in itself. Just gazing upon the beauty and potency has helped me on my path. Thank you. And to Tony Carmaine Celino for the gift of opportunity once again. So look at the contents page. It's really nicely laid out, clear. I love the fact that the paper is also off-white, so it's not so glary. Nice font. So it's got the introduction, welcome to the woods, how to work with your cards. I mean, it gives you the card meanings for each of the 45 cards. And when it talks about the author and the artist. So let's just read this bit here. We must become so alone, so utterly alone, that we withdraw in our innermost self. It's a way of bitter suffering, but then our solitude is overcome. We are no longer alone, for we find that our innermost self is the spirit that is God, the invisible, and suddenly we find ourselves in the midst of the world, and yet undisturbed by its multiplicity. For our innermost soul, we use ourselves to be with all beings, and that's by Mani Hesse. So the introduction. Welcome to the woods. Your completeness does not depend on the presence of others. In many ways, our culture teaches us to have family, have friends, be sociable, and go to gatherings, parties, festivals, shopping centres, and malls, all where we cannot be alone. There is no quiet, there is no nature, there is only the fullness and whirl of sounds and experience and sensation. Until we find we must be alone, we forget who we are amidst incessant noise, and perhaps for some of us, we never ever had the chance to know who we could be when we were able to simply be without ourselves. Being alone can take courage. In solitude, we have the capacity to strengthen our minds, to depend on ourselves. We can develop ideas and theories, be creative, and even at times ascend and allow geniuses to flow through us. So that's just a bit about the introduction. It's quite a long one. But it talks about the discovery of soul family, isolation as a punishment. This is quite a deep book. Solitary witches. What to do before doing a reading with the cards. Shuffling and handling your cards. Asking questions for the cards. Choosing a spread. Completing your reading. 6 steps to sealing your reading. Journaling the reading. Clearing and cleansing your deck. Smoking. Let me just have a look at this. I pass my deck 3 times through smoke from herbs or resins like frankincense. If I work with sage, I do my best to be sure of the sources and where the money goes to and to whom. I wish to be sure to honour its origins by not consuming it without giving back to the communities who were its first keepers. I like to use lavender, rosemary, rose herbs or flowers I have grown for this purpose. And when it talks about salt clearing, in fact, this is very simple and very effective. I make a circle of salt around my deck, wooden shins, clockwise in the southern hemisphere, anti-clockwise in the northern, to draw forth any energies that no longer belong with the cards. And with my deck, I like to burn a candle while I'm doing this. When it talks about moonlight cleansing, how to reset the cards, sound clearing, nature clearing. And then it's got jumping cards. When a card really jumps, it wants to speak to you. Sometimes when you're shuffling a card will literally spring out of the deck. Trust this, it is trying to get you attention so it can share its message with you. When this takes place, work with the card, whether it happens in a larger layer or a smaller layer or in your card a day practice. If you are doing a larger reading, for example, a Celtic Cross reading, I'll always take the leaping card and put it aside of the spread so that the energy can be part of the reading. I know when to introduce it. Most of the time, it is there as an influence, a guide, an advisor. When you are doing your card a day and you get a leaping card, you can take that as your card of the day. I love leaping cards. I love the sense that they have chosen to speak to me and are actively seeking me out. It's so energized. I like how active my cards often are. It offers so much enhancement and connection to my life. Then she goes on to about how to read reversals. Then she talks about reversals, what you must resist. How to activate reversals in a reading. Layouts for you to explore and enjoy. 1 card a day. Triple insight spread, that's 3 cards. So it's normally past, present and future. And it tells you the layout, you know, what card 1's about, what card 2 is about, what card 3 is about. So for example, card 1 is the former self, card 2 is you now, and card 3 is the future or what you may come. It's quite a deep book. Then there's the Celtic Cross, which is Lucy's adaptation. Position 1 is the seeker. Position 2 is the situation. 3 is the past. 4 is the very recent past and present. 5 is the possible future. 6 is the outcome. 7 is what the seeker wants. 8 is perception. 9 is fears. And 10 is the best possible action. Talks about the path, the seeker's journey through solitude. I think this is a 8-card spread. I would like it if the spreads were, no, sorry, it's not, it's an 11-card spread, excuse me. But I would like it if the spreads were kind of pictorial, because I like to see pictorial spreads, to be quite honest. And when it goes into the card meanings. So it gives you an extension of what's already on the cards. So that's good. It's got black and white illustrations. And stuff. And then about the author, which is Lucy Cavendish. Lucy Cavendish is a witch and spiritual author. She inhibited a strong extrasensory abilities as a child. With no answers from school or mainstream religion, Lucy set out on her own personal quest to understand and develop her magical gifts. Lucy grew up in Sydney, Australia, and has lived in Paris, London, and the United States. Today, she's an exciting, enhancing voice in the field of inspiration, noted for her breadth and depth of knowledge on sacred rites and sites, magical history, witchcraft, folklore, alternative spiritual practices, and intuitive traditions. Lucy shares her knowledge and gifts to inspire intuitive people to break through their out-conditioning up to their potential, discover their personal power, and dare to live brave, bright, authentic lives. Lucy's teachings are all about spirited self-development, and her intuitive training embraces both shadow and light. She is remarkable for her vision, compassion, wisdom, humour, and insight. Lucy lectures and teaches around the world. Her books and oracle decks are available in many languages. She's a popular guest on television programs such as The Studio 10, The Project, The Morning Show. She began a podcast in 2019 called The Witchcast, which reaches thousands of seekers every day. Her work has struck a chord with contemporary seekers ready to create their lives of courage, spiritual venture, and enriching magic. When she is not writing or speaking or recording, you'll find Lucy surfing in the ocean, wandering deep within a fairy forest, or dancing with the spirits in an ancient stone circle. You can find more about Lucy by visiting her website, and it gives you the website address. And then this is the artist. And then it just gives you, like, it just tells you some more things that Lucy Cavendish has done. So, for example, the Magical Fairy Tales is a collection of retold stories. And just a few other sort of books that she's done. Blessed by the Goddess and Oracle of Hidden Worlds. So I think this is quite a detailed book. It's 104 pages, and I think that's quite deep. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards. So let's compare the cards in terms of size. So they're definitely oracle size. Now, if I was to compare it to my Wisdom of the Depth Tarot, which I've been working with today, this is the size of a regular RWS card. As you can see, look, it's a lot smaller in terms of length and width. Beautiful cards. They've got a very nice matte feeling, which I like. Okay, so let's have a look at these cards. So, number 1, to walk the lonesome road. The sadness of letting go. And yet the path grows lighter. Hope is like a hummingbird. The lonesome gardener. Drink from your own well, water your own garden. Going deep. To watch over you. There are others like you. So that means you're not alone. The communication of tender souls. Your little island. Your truth is powerful. Love forgives the distance. Plight of the wanderer. Your inner light will guide you. A time for healing. Look at that little heart he's made of his hands. And butterfly in there for the transformation. The learning of rights. The littlest blessing. A time to rest a while. The blessed reunion. Find your night self. Time to move on. The beneath opens up to you. Between the worlds. Death moves amongst us. The fortunate companion. From below to the above. When all seems ended. Your presence is a gift to others. A time to share. Ebbs and flows. Gifts of the lonely path. The return of the lost selves. Our shadows are beautiful. The consolations of isolation. The truth comes softly. Honor your holy days. In the vastness of it all. And it's lonelier at night. Do not hide your light. Realizations. What did we lose? The ending that opens the space for the beginning. There is one who watches over you. The wise owl. Oops, this is upside down. Into your arms. Wow. Aren't they nice messages? And they're quite deep. So let's see how these cards shuffle. They're quite thick, but they're not cardboardish. and matty feelings. Let's say they shuffle. Yeah, but they shuffle quite nice. Let me shuffle a card and pull out a card for today. See if anything drops out. Oops, that one drops out. So this says, the truth comes softly. So let me see what the guidebook says. In the clean space of freedom to witness the self, we can find ways to work with the truth. Truths are not the same as facts. Truths are about our stories and the story of our lives thus far. Being isolated for a time can mean we begin to understand far more deeply what our stories have become, and we begin to know how our stories need to change. The tale of your life becomes more and more clearly written by yourself without all the suggestions and interpretations, even those that are well meant of others. Let the truth become clearer and clearer until it is in front of you. This truth is your story, and it's yours to write. Wow, isn't that nice? Thank you so much for watching. I will leave a link for this deck in the description bar, should anybody be interested. Have a nice Christmas.